For more on these developments in Libya, Sami Hamdi, Editor-in-Chief at the International Interest, joins us now live from London. Thanks so much for coming on the show. We've just heard Turkey's response to the situation in Libya. Also, the EU has called it unacceptable. Russia, an important backer, shows no support. The US shows regret. Where does this leave Khalifa Haftar's unilateral declaration?
I think what Haftar did was confirm what was a reality in eastern Libya, which is that he is the de facto ruler. I think the strategic mistake he may have made is that before he was claiming some sort of loose legitimacy by claiming that the House of Representatives was the elected body in 2014 and that it had been kicked out by the militias in Tripoli and relocated to Tobruk. And the reason why, and this is what poses the question, why does Haftar declare the reality now, whereas he could have declared it a few years ago? And I think the reason is that Haftar fears that those in the east, that there is hesitation in the ranks, and after the reversal of the Tripoli offensive caused by the Turkey-backed GNA, the internationally recognized government, Haftar fears that Aqil al-Saleh, who is the head of the House of Representatives, who's been sort of the impotent umbrella to give Haftar some legitimacy. Haftar is worried that these might try to instigate a coup. They might try to take away his powers. They might try to restrain him. They might try to chain him. And this is the reason why I think Haftar moved now. Haftar decided to declare himself ruler of Libya in order to cut off any potential attempt by anybody in the east to take advantage of the reversal in Tripoli in order to chain him. With regards to your point about the different reactions from the international reaction, we should not judge it based on the statements only. If you look at the US statements in any crisis in the Middle East, they always express concern and always express regret. But this is not the same as taking action. This is not the same as withdrawing support. Trump has called Haftar an ally in the fight against terrorism. UAE are still heavily backing him. We haven't heard anything from France. And even if we have a statement from the EU, let's remember that France acts independently when it comes to foreign policy. Germany wants good relations with Turkey. France wants antagonism with Turkey. EU wants peace in Libya. France wants Haftar to take over in Libya. So I would be wary. I think the only way we can gauge the impact of this statement is by the international support, which seems, as of now, still the same as it was before the statement.
And I just want to go back to a point you made at the beginning. He declared what is a reality. Why did you say that?
Of course, everybody knows in the East that Haftar is the face of Eastern Libya, or the face that's been plastered on Eastern Libya by the UAE and by France. Everybody knows that Haftar does not consult the House of Representatives. When the House of Representatives in the early days tried to call Haftar to present reports to the House of Representatives, he ignored them and simply continued as he was. Everybody knows that Haftar is the one who negotiates on behalf of the East. Haftar is the one who goes to Paris. He's the one who goes to Palermo. He's the one who goes to Moscow. He's the one who goes to Berlin. He's the one who leads the forces. The House of Representatives is an impotent organization that Haftar has simply used to give him some umbrella of legitimacy. And this is why when everybody is declaring today that Haftar has become a dictator, that begs the question, what was he before? He was an authoritarian. Even his supporters knew that he was the de facto ruler of the East. When you talk to his supporters, it is about Haftar versus Tripoli. Haftar versus, it's never the House of Representatives. And this is why I think the only change that this statement actually makes is it's essentially, whereas before we were calling a spade a club, we are now calling a spade a spade. We are now calling a dictator instead of calling him a military commander or a general or a warlord, or call him what you wish. Everybody knew that, because this is the third time Haftar has tried to declare a coup. Everybody knows Haftar wants to be the military dictator. Everybody knows this is what France wants. This is what the UAE wants, and he's been asserting himself by force. This statement quite simply says what everybody already knew.
Okay, this is a statement. World leaders are very busy trying to survive, to keep their countries and populations alive. How can he profit from this even more, apart from statements?
I think the statement was not intended to profit. I think the statement was more a hesitation from Haftar. It was fear that somebody might move against him. I think Haftar may have, in the long term, may come back to look at this statement as a strategic mistake, because now he can no longer say to France or to whoever that I have some legitimate backing. France can no longer say that Haftar is representing the elected body of the House of Representatives that the militias in Tripoli contested. And this is the issue now for Haftar. Now France is in an awkward position whereby it's not backing a dubious election result. It's not backing a dubious contest for power. It's now backing, by the admission of its own ally, a military dictator hell-bent on controlling Libya. This is unlikely to alter France's stance, but it means there needs to be a change in PR, there needs to be a change in tack. In terms of how Haftar profits, Haftar now has a framework within which to crush all opposition in the east, a way to damage limitation for the reversal in the Tripoli offensive. And also, it also allows him to cement his control and focus more on trying to protect that Tripoli offensive. Because let's remember that although there's been a reversal, Tarhuna and Watia, the two most important bases, the spine of the Tripoli offensive, still remain in Haftar's hands. They are still under heavy siege from Turkish-backed groups, from the GNA, from the internationally recognized government. Okay. They are still under heavy siege. And until these two bases fall, the Tripoli offensive is still on the cards.
Sami Hamdi, a pleasure. Thank you so much for that update.